Much for sharing with us.
Our U.S. partner Michael has just made some wonderful slides here. A lot of pictures. So I'll make the presentation very short. Just a bit of background myself. Before set up the joint venture fund with Sequoia US, I was an entrepreneur for the past 5 years, mostly engaged with C-Trips as well as Homings. C-Trips is the largest travel consolidator in China. Homing is the largest economy hotel chain in China. Basically, we set up the China Fund last September, and currently has established office in Beijing and Hong Kong. We don't obviously have many history and the IPO ticker symbol to show compared with some of my fellow venture capitalists on the panel, but we have been fairly active since we set up the fund last September, and we have 9 professionals so far. And we have made 7 to 8 investments in the past 4 or 5 months since we established our fund, focusing on some key areas in the economy, including consumer services, internet and wireless, software as well as systems. Our fund focusing, as I said, on high potential, high growth companies, and we don't limit ourselves to early stage or late stage. Rather, we're fairly broad in terms of the scope of the investment. And obviously, we feel pretty optimistic this is just the starting of a venture industry in China, and there's obviously up and downs, but certainly there are a lot of opportunity for us to make good investment in China and building empires. Thank you.
I think I managed the time as best as I can, so right now it's 10:35. Well, we're going to ask a few questions and interactive, and you may want to think about what question you want to ask, and we're going to leave about 15 minutes,
including set up the fund by ourselves. But when we talk with Sequoia US, I think we've been very intrigued. When you look at their success, it's a 30-year history, and you might view it as lucky if you make one successful investment in Yahoo, Google. But if you are consistently making high returns, and if you invest in 500 companies in the past 30 years, have 200 IPOs, you wonder if there's anything special about that organization that we can learn from. So that is the very reason that when we end up working together with Sequoia Capital. And I think it's a very interesting lineup that we are going to learn a lot from our US colleagues, their experience, their technology expertise. Meanwhile, we are fairly, I think, local operations with local decision makings, so can fit the China competitive environment very well. And I think 6 months have been passed, and we find extremely helpful for our communication with our U.S. partners, providing a lot of insight to what we are currently looking at it in China. Obviously, I don't think it's fit for anybody, because for the both parties to come into that kind of efforts, they should have this a right mentality into how to treat each other. In our relationship, we call it, as Michael has been said before, it's a peer-to-peer relationship. And obviously, from our side, we view our U.S. partners as our mentors. I think we feel that that is a very good infrastructure for us to leverage. Thank you.
Success to having a relationship, but I guess we will not be able to having one. From CDH itself, when we spin off in 2001, 2002, and then it was really the worst possible time to raising a fund. So the anchor LP become our fund.
Yeah, sounds seems like you're doing well with our partnership.
Yeah, yes, and it's fine, and we recognize when people help us when we were the most difficult time. That's
in less than 5 times PE, and so we're making investment at the same time we're going IPO into the market. Great company, great business model, and yet not many people has really looking into this sector. I'm very excited about it. What wakes me up in the evening? Not really. I have always had a very good sound sleep.
Yoke?
I think in China it's always wonderful that there's always new opportunity out there for the investment. I think the past 3-4 years, the mobile device giving us a lot of opportunity on the mobile value add services area. And now gradually the broadband, the internet environment, and in the future definitely digital TV, the set-top box, this is the area we're coming up. Different kind of the platform, different kind of the device will continue to evolve and give the opportunity for the new investment. I think something to worry is about is overheating, too much competition, valuation jacking up, and a kind of unhealthy status of the industry now.
Hugo?
Okay. As Andy, my quality of sleep is always good, so I never wake up in the middle of the night. But what worries me is really we don't want to miss any of the deals. We can make a misjudgment and then we can make mistakes, but we don't want to miss any opportunity. Because in China, all the deals we have been talking about is really most of them came from the well-developed cities, Beijing, Shanghai, Guangdong, and this area. So China is so huge, and we see a lot of opportunity coming from in the past considered secondary cities and the provinces that have very good people and good opportunities. So we really worries me is that we don't want to miss any of the opportunities.
Good. Sanzi?
I think the most exciting time in China is in all kind of private equity asset class. There's a tremendous opportunity for growth. For us, I got very excited about our new venture initiative. We have a new team. They're doing very exciting things. In the meantime, our growth capital, we have large, high-profile transaction ongoing. And we also see we're investing in our own people, growing our own organization. And I think that's very exciting. What worries, I think it's more of a overall, I don't feel the overall supply demand is the issue, particularly if you look at a full spectrum industry. I do feel there's potential of changing in the policy and overall reform. Sometimes we move very fast, actually depleting our competitive advantage if the market gets very efficient, or the policy step backward and making it more difficult in approval. So that uncertainty sometimes creating a lot of operational trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, in general, I think we are, actively looking at the internet space as well as consumer service space. But we've been really broad in terms of the industry coverage. Actually, recently we actually closed the investment in agriculture industry, which has seen very few foreign investments so far. But we find this fairly exciting industry with limited competition, both from the entrepreneur side as well as from the venture investment side. Meanwhile, I think if there's any sort of issues make up be fully concerned with, is starting to see a kind of a shortfall of strong management and entrepreneurs in the market. There obviously has been a talent pool which we can tap into, but certainly there's a lot of great opportunities in the and there are a lot of diversification of interest. So they're starting to see a shortfall of strong management able to lead the companies.
Thank you. It's very hard for me to see anyone here, so any questions?
As very successful entrepreneurs and VCs, you all have obviously very impressive track records and enjoy tremendous success managing people, managing business, and managing capital. But I'm sure along the way, there must be also a lot of lessons learned doing business in China. I'm very interested to maybe hearing you share with us some of the mistakes or setbacks you have had and what you have learned from those.
Great question. Actually, it's my next question. So, any volunteer?
Too many. I guess Hugo and we are probably the earlier first generation of private equity investors there. One thing I probably say is the people. If you invest with the right people, even they're in a sunset industry, they still can make money. If you invest with wrong people, no matter how promising their business is, you're going to doom. They will make money, the other people will make, you're guaranteed will not make money.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think one of the lessons we learned for the past 6 years of operation that if the founders or the entrepreneurs are not locally based in China and trying to manage Chinese startup, I think that is too challenging. Out of the 6 projects we write off, 2 are those people still with the family in the Silicon Valley. They fly over the Pacific and trying to see the project in Shanghai could be successful. I think that is too challenging.
Yeah, I really agree with both of them. I think the mistake we made is really, sometimes you bet too much on the technology, and then people get to show you a technology which you get so intrigued about that one, and then you ignore the importance, evaluate the management capability. That tend to be the mistake we made in the past. But then I think the key is really to find the good, capable people to manage the company. That's the key.
I guess there's a lot of experience and lessons we learned when we started. The few things that are kind of peculiar in China that I like to share. One is the good margin, unless there's some special reason, tend to very hard to last. And once you make money, and your competitor squeeze in, particularly when you become a listed company and everything is transparent, you pay all the taxes, and where your competitor are not necessarily to do so. So, and then the foreign investor tax rules gradually expire, so you're very hard to find the time you can permanently hold anything. So those are the kind of peculiar situation there we learned.
Yeah, I think I can agree with Andy more on this. I think the team is ultimately the most successful, important or successful factors in any business. When I look at my business plan written in 1999 about C-Trip, I find it actually changed so dramatically. I can't even read those numbers from my current financial forecast posted by the analysts at C-Trip. So. I think the strong manager should actually able to change when environment changes, when his model doesn't work in under a certain environment. So that type of capability probably go with experience. And as I said earlier, I mean there's not a lot of there's not a huge talent pool to tap into. And one of the challenges to identify people who have the capability to grow into very strong managers.
One related question said, the VC in the US, almost average 50% of time you have to replace the CEO. And in China, it's very seldom. I only have twice. And have any one of you have replaced the CEO? And if you can share that would be helpful.
I think in my experience, when we founded C-Trip, it's a team, the original team actually, basically lead efforts and all the way around. And when we founded a